Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so super excited to do this video. This is going to be my July TBR video. So my little itty bitty, oop, you can't even see it, but my TBR jar here is going to pick out my July TBR, which I'm really excited for. I have some really good news. Last month, so the month of June, I did the same video, picked out 6 books, and guess what? I finished every single book on my TBR, which is super good news. I think this is like the first time I've ever done that. So we can just say that this idea, the whole TBR jar video, is working because I finished every single book on my TBR, which again, first time ever. So I'm really excited and happy that that happened. And that's just gonna keep me motivated to continue to make these videos because they're super fun to make. I love having like a set TBR based on this little jar, and you guys seem to like them as well. So thank you so much for watching, and let's just dive right in. Also, look at this really cute shirt. It's like a bookish shirt from like a small business I found on Instagram. So I will link them down below because who doesn't love like bookish merch, right? Anyway, here is our little jar for the month. So here's some ASMR. Oh, okay. The prompts are flying out, so let's just dive right in. Again, here is my cart. This is the TBR cart that we're gonna be pulling from. So let me scooch over so that you guys can like actually see it. These are all of our options, and it's getting really full. I have put myself on like a little bit of a book buying ban because it's not okay. But today I did buy a book, and it is the 3rd book in the Housemaid series. It's called The Housemaid is Watching, and this one was like just released this month. I had to buy it because I have read the other 2. I own the other 2. It just made sense. So I'm gonna add this to the TBR cart, and hopefully I can pick it out and get it read so I can complete that series, even though this would be completely unfair to all the other books on my TBR cart because they've been on there a lot longer than literally less than a day. All right, first official TBR prompt for the month of July. Let's see what we get. I'm not even kidding, and this is totally not planned, but it literally says most recent purchase. That is crazy, and I cannot be happier or more lucky because what? That's crazy. So it is going to be The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. That is literally crazy. I can't believe that just happened. But we have our first book for our July TBR. This isn't giving very summer vibes, but that's okay because like I mentioned, this is just one of the books that I have on my radar because I just want to read it, right? So at least I know this one will get read, hopefully. So this one's all about Millie, who is like the housemaid in the other 2 books, and some stuff happens after the second one. So this one's really interesting now because I don't really know where they're gonna go with it. Like, is it gonna be a time jump? How far in advance? We have no idea. So we will be reading this and reporting back in our wrap up for July. Also, yeah, if you guys want to hear me talk about like all the books that I read in June, because I did finish my TBR, that will be, all of my thoughts and reviews will be in my July wrap up, which should be up after this video. Next book. So we have our TBR jar. I cannot believe that was the first one. That was luck, I'll tell you. All right, A Place in the Title. All right, that's interesting. What kind of place? Ooh, okay, so first off, we are looking at this one. It's called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. So we have Brooklyn. I am thinking, does this count the Paradise Problem? Is paradise a place? It is, right? I don't know if that would be cheating because I do want to read this one. This one's like high on my TBR. All right, let me very quickly go through all of these and see if there are any other places in the title. There's not very many options. I think these are kind of the 3 front runners. There's A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. No idea what it's about. I kind of picked it up blindly because the cover is so pretty. We have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I think this counts. Paradise is a place, I think. And then The Paris Daughter by Kristen Harmel. You know what? I think I'm leaning more towards this one now because this one has been on my TBR like a few times, and I love Kristen Harmel. I read The Book of Lost Names. Moment of silence for that book because that is one of my favorite books ever, and that was my first ever book by this author. So I think I want to read this one just because of that correlation. And you know what? The Summer Olympics are in Paris this month, so it does kind of tie in with the time of year. So I think I'm gonna choose this one because of all those reasons. Yeah, I believe this is historical fiction in like 2 different POVs or 2 different timelines. Honestly, not too sure. Hopefully I freaking read it because again, I've been wanting to like actually get this read for the last few months. We're just gonna go with it. This is gonna be book number 2 for our July TBR. I'm so excited. So that's 2, and I think we're gonna do 6 again. That was a really good number for me last month. I did read more than 6 books last month. I don't know what happened or what got into me, but I was just in the reading mood. So I think we're gonna go with 6. We'll just see at the end of the 6 if I still feel like picking up more. So these 2 going back on the cart. There's literally no room on here. All right, book number 3. Let's just move right along. Ooh, this one's pretty lengthy. It says, a book that ends in an even number of pages. Okay, I love this type of prompt because I can really choose anything that I want and then just cross my fingers and hope that it fits. A few right off the back that I really do want to read this month. The Great Undoing of Daisy Hates, or it's called Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. I don't know why I read that all wrong. Wildfire by Hannah Grace. The Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. Now call me crazy because like, look at this, but I've just been in my Game of Thrones like mood, and I've been watching House of the Dragon, and I realized and totally remembered that I'm on book 3 in the original like Song of Ice and Fire books, which is Game of Thrones. So this has been on my radar, and you know, this does intimidate me, but I'm just gonna pick it up like digitally if this does end up on my TBR, because I do genuinely want to read this. So I am motivated. Let me just see how many pages this is because I'm very, very tempted. Now in the back there's like an appendix and all this stuff in this type of big book, so I'm just going to see 1,128 pages. So did I say even or odd? Even! We did it, Joe! I'm so excited. Yay! This is gonna be book 3 on my TBR, and like I mentioned, so excited for this. Book number 3. Right, this TBR already is shaping up to be like a little bit weird, a little bit different. 3 different genres, which I love that. I love dipping my toe into different genres, and having it like resembled on my TBR is like really satisfying. Moving on to book number 4. Oh, I love doing this video. It is so fun. I wish I could do it like multiple times a month. But I don't think that would work. All right, next one. Oh my God, I picked up like 3. All right, I grabbed one. It is one word title. That's gonna be interesting. All right, this is what's going through my head. So I see Flawless, which I've been dying to pick up the Chestnut Springs series. And then right after I thought of Flawless, I thought of Wildfire, which is the one that I had just picked up like 3 seconds ago. Definitely between these 2 now. Chestnut Springs or Maple Hills. Which one? Oh, this one is giving very summer vibes. Although I think it takes place in like the fall time, but like, the cover gives summer. I think I'm gonna do it, y'all. I think I'm going to start Chestnut Springs because, hear me out, I'm like ready. Like, I have the other books in the series. I don't have all of them, but I have like the next ones. I've been wanting to start this year for sure. Heard way too many great things. I really want to read Elsie Silver's like brand new release, which is kind of interconnected with this series, so I just told myself like I have to read this first, like this whole series first. I think I'm gonna go with Flawless. We're reading Chestnut Springs, guys. We are starting the Chestnut Springs series. This is monumental, so. Okay, we have 2 more left. Super, super excited with the ones that I do have so far. Putting this back, and yeah, we still have quite a few books on here. We literally, it looks like I have made no room on there because I still have ones like behind these ones. You can't even see them, but they're like up there. So definitely I have too big of a TBR, quite frankly, but let's see what the next prompt is. Book that's been on a previous TBR. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like half happy, half like because sometimes books that are on previous TBRs, I don't love putting them like on a TBR again, just because I'm like, I didn't read it for a reason, but it also gives it like a second chance, and we love second chance. We love second chance romance, second chance everything. We're gonna have to go with it. Now let's see what's been on a TBR before. People We Meet on Vacation has been on literally has been on like multiple TBRs. Has been on like 2 straight summer TBRs because it's such a summery book. This would give me an Emily Henry book this month. This is the only Emily Henry book I have not read. Do I want to do that? I think I do. I'm gonna go with People We Meet on Vacation. People love Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry, so this is gonna go on the TBR. Hopefully I enjoy this book because I have a very weird relationship with Emily Henry books. I'll explain more once I like go over the entire TBR, but this is gonna be book number 5. I'm almost done. Oh my God, this is gonna be book number 5. Totally forgot again. I always forget to give some love to my library books, but I do have 2 books from the library that are also potential options. We have Bridesmaid for Hire by Megan Quinn, and we have The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. Look at this freaking cover. Like if that doesn't scream summer to you, I'm sorry, I don't know what does. These are also options, so I'm gonna put them here kind of in the corner to keep them, you know, in the front of my mind in case I also wanna pick from here. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Last book. I'm feeling like I want to pick more, so I don't know, we'll see. Let's see what the next TBR prompt says. I think 2 of them fell out, but we're just gonna throw them back in there and pretend we didn't see that. This one says one of your favorite authors. Interesting. Okay, I like this. Sadly, the 2 library books do not fit into that category because I don't think I haven't read either of these authors, so those will not be considered. Love Abby Jimenez. I love Jessa Hastings because of the first Daisy Hates book. We have, ooh, Lauren Asher. Love Lauren Asher. Ooh, we have Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of the only Taylor Jenkins Reid's book that I have never read, and I think I want to choose this, y'all. Sorry for the brief intermission, but my camera was overheating and that just means that I've been yapping for way too long. So we're gonna try to go a little bit quicker, but I'm still trying to decide. So Christina Lauren, Love in Other Words, one of my favorite books ever. So this is one of my favorite authors, even though I've never read another one of her books. Taylor Jenkins Reid, my favorite author, I think, ever. Final Offer by Lauren Asher. She's also one of my favorite authors. I've read like 3 of her books, but I don't know if I necessarily want to read this one this month. So for that reason, she's out. What is it? Shark Tank? Jessa Hastings. Now, will I say she's one of my favorite authors? I think I just really want to read this book and I don't think that should count. Like that is unfair, right? Oh, I cannot wait to read this book though. Like, okay, so I guess it's between these 2 because there's other people on here. I mean, Abby Jimenez as well, but I don't think I want to read Yours Truly just yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but it's just not the time. There's Kristen Hanna, one of my favorite authors as well, but I don't think I want to read this just yet. There's also Travis by Mia Sheridan, but I think I'm still leaning more towards one of these. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. You will not be it. So this one, You Will Not Be It. So it's okay. You know what? I'm happy. I'm not upset. That means I made the right choice. After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 books, guys. Let's review, shall we? The first book on my July TBR is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. Like I mentioned, this is book 3 in the Housemaid series. I'm assuming this is still about Millie, who was the original housemaid in the other books. That's all I know about it. Don't want to rant too much, don't know too much. So I'm excited. This is a thriller mystery, so that's one of the many genres that I picked for my TBR this month. Next one is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't really know what this is about either. This looks like a big city on the cover. It could be LA, could be somewhere else. Taylor Jenkins Reid is my favorite author. This is one of like the only one of 2 books that I have not read by her. So I've read all of her other books, so I can't wait to read this one. I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. Actually, I think I'm gonna go into it completely blindly because I'm telling you, I have no idea what it's about. But with the title After I Do, maybe marriage of some sort. It's pretty short too, so it'll be a quick, easy read, I'm hoping. Next one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is a crowd favorite, I already know. Emily Henry, hugely popular, so I'm excited to see what this is about. I did mention I have not a love-hate relationship, but it's more of a weird relationship. Like, I want to love her books and be obsessed with them, but I don't get obsessed with them besides maybe like 1 or 2. So yeah, we'll just see what I feel about this one because this is definitely long overdue. And then once I finish this, I'll have read every single Emily Henry book. So very excited for that. Next up is Miss Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is book 1 in the Chestnut Spring series, which from what I've heard, it's kind of like a small town fan family type of book. I don't even know where it takes place, but it's a romance. So professional bull rider and a babysitter or a dog, like, yeah. So that's exciting. I've just heard way too many good things about this book to not want to read it. So that is why it's on my TBR. A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. This is book 3 in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, also known as Game of Thrones. And from what I've heard, this is the best book in the series, so I'm very excited about it. This is fantasy, so another genre that we're jumping into this month. Again, like I mentioned, she's very thick and sort of short, so I don't want to have to read this physically, so I'm probably gonna get it on my Kindle and read it digitally because that way I can read it quicker as well. Game of Thrones is one of my favorite shows ever. George R.R. Martin is an amazing fantasy writer, and I don't read too much fantasy, but just because this world is so big, so in-depth, like it takes a lot of my brain capacity because I've seen the show like 4 times and still there are new characters that come up in the the book series that I'm like, who is this? What family, what house are they from? It can be confusing. So definitely gonna limit myself to trying to finish this series before jumping into too many other fantasies. I don't know, I could be saying that right now, and the next month I read fantasies, so who knows, but this is another book on my TBR for July. And then we have Kristen Harmel's The Paris Daughter. This is historical fiction. Don't really know anything about it, but very excited to be reading this because Kristen Harmel has wrote one of my favorite books ever, which is The Book of Lost Names. It's also a historical fiction like romance, and it's about World War II, so very, very good. If you have not read it, absolutely recommend it. I did have it on a previous TBR and I didn't read it, so I'm very excited to hopefully pick it up and finish it this month. I don't know, it just seems interesting. Again, I'm putting all my trust in her because she wrote, again, one of my favorite books ever. So we'll just see what I feel about this once I read it. That does not work for me, so we're gonna toss this one at the bottom. These are it. This is my July TBR. And then there are some other books on my tentative, you know, kind of back TBR, would probably be these 3. So we're gonna keep those over here. Not super high priority. We're gonna try to focus on these. But yeah, these are the books that I'm gonna be reading throughout the month of July. Here's a nice little zoom in so you can really see what I'm talking about. We've got a couple of different genres in here, which I love. We have fantasy, historical fiction, romance, thriller, mystery. So we love that, and yeah, this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you, and I'm sorry this video got kind of long. I couldn't stop yapping. But anyway, it's over now, so thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!